Hey guys, it's Sarafina. Thanks so much for stopping by today. We are going to be discussing what it's like to heal after being in a narcissistic relationship. And if you are listening, you have probably been in a relationship that is difficult to be a part of. But what I mean in a narcissistic relationship is the mental and diagnostic approach to narcissism and how it impacts your nervous system, your body, your mind, your approaches to the world, your self-esteem. And so I found that a lot of my clients were struggling with finding their voice after getting out of a tumultuous relationship. And so this episode here is really about giving you the space to feel as if you're not alone. Many people are in and still continue to stay in relationships that are harmful. However, just because you've been a part of this space does not mean that's your entire life, and that's not where you should rest. And so, exploring what this looks like, I wanted to give you guys a small example of what I went through about 1.5 years ago. I was in a long distance relationship for about 4 years or so. After our time together, we decided to get married. And I did not recognize these symptoms that were showing up in this relationship until I began healing when we decided to divorce. And in doing so, it made me recognize that the people who are in these relationships may be living in an illusionary state of well-being. And what I mean by that is you are viewing the world through these rosy-colored glasses that don't necessarily reflect what is happening in reality. So, relational trauma doesn't only change how you view about yourself, it also impacts how you are in that relationship and many other relationships. So if you're here, you're probably wanting to unlearn a couple of these things, and that's amazing. So like I said earlier, narcissistic dynamics are very harmful to your nervous system, and some past behaviors may be part of your current sensory and emotional expressions. So if you are in a narcissistic relationship or you have experience with being in one, your nervous system has shifted into a new state of being, and that is a bit overwhelming, believe it or not. And if you've been in this relationship for a long period of time, you have grown new patterns that are now ingrained into how you approach future relationships. So when you are leaving a narcissistic relationship, it's important that you unlearn all of those behaviors and patterns you learned while in this relationship. Okay? So now this is your opportunity to begin to see your power, celebrate all you've gained, and learn about how you can nourish and nurture your nervous system and your identity and your confidence back to health. Okay, so a couple of things that you can work on, and I also did during my healing journey, was find my voice again. So it's so painful while in these relationships to be gaslighted, diminished, feeling as if you don't have much to offer, as if you're stuck in a space that you aren't necessarily in. You lose that self-esteem, that confidence that you've been working to build. And if you've been in several relationships back to back that are similar to this, your self-esteem is needing to really fill up from a lower capacity. So how do you gain confidence? By offering yourself more self-love. You need to step back into your past and allow yourself to recognize that you weren't there, but you can give that person at that time a new voice, right? So sometimes when you've been hurt in these kind of relationships, it's good to take a deep breath. And at some point, you might step back into that history. I like to say, we're going to go in and heal the ouch instead of running away from it. you weren't there. And the one strength that you do have is bringing yourself back to the present moment. And that's through breathing and action, gentleness, specifically because the area is very tender. And what I mean by this area, it's your emotional and psychological state. Remember that the you who experienced the harm in these relationships requires your current compassion and love to heal. So practicing the resiliency while you were in the relationship requires you to stop judging yourself, stop doubting yourself, stop seeing yourself through the eyes of the other. And your aim is to take it easy, right? Reduce all of that so that your shoulders can feel a little bit lighter and that you can offer yourself the space to pay attention to the ouch so that you can make it feel a little bit easier to be inside of your body. And it's not that we're wanting you to ignore your past hurt or repress it. It's more so as recognizing that this at one point was painful and I don't want the same things to happen again. And so now I'm going to be approaching it with a little bit more sensitivity, some gentle kindness and love, and remembering that you aren't in that space. And one step at a time, you will detach from the other person and draw closer to yourself if you are taking the steps forward. So I know it's not fun, but unfortunately, the universe gives us these lessons because we're asking for them. So when was the last time you said, oh, I want to be in love. I want to be in a relationship. I want someone to love me. I want someone to see me. Well, if that's going to happen, you must see yourself. You must love yourself. You must recognize yourself. And you must see how you love and receive love. If you don't get these opportunities, you don't really learn the good stuff. You don't really learn what the point of love is. And so yes, it is painful to have your heart broken or your soul ache or not be able to get out of bed for days or cry your eyes out. And I always say when you're crying, it's probably your soul's time to express. Give yourself a break. Go easy on your heart and your soul and your body. And remember that everyone's situation is complex and very different. So if you are in a place where you can't get safety or you're not ready to take that shift in your journey, take some more time to think about it, introspect, maybe see a counselor or a therapist such as myself. But nonetheless, these spaces are here for you to talk and learn about what you need to build a creative and sustainable life for yourself. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a couple more tips to help you sustain your self-work and healing. So the first one was self-compassion. I sat there a little bit longer because I believe self-compassion can be misconstrued. But the next is to eat, sleep, and cleanse. Make sure you're eating, make sure you're sleeping, and make sure you're cleansing. The self-kindness that goes hand in hand with self-compassion, remembering we are not trying to cause more pain, but we're trying to release the hurt. We're going to incorporate some creative and cathartic releases. So if you're in creative therapies, maybe doing journaling, maybe doing narrative talks, maybe doing art. If you are not within that space where you can have a buddy help you, maybe music. I love to listen to music and play it really loud and find the songs that make you want to sing your heart out. Because in doing so, you're almost getting an easy access to the emotions that may be harmful or hurtful for you at this time. Music is a great way to transcend your reality into a method or a medium. It's really interesting. Next is water and nature. So get into nature, get by a body of water, go for a walk. This will give you insight and clarity that you're looking for. Have intentional thoughts. Really be mindful of what you're thinking. If you're constantly putting yourself back into a perpetual state of fear, self-doubt, loathing, that's not getting you to the place of getting out of that trauma or that harm you were in. These intentional thoughts are here to be constructive and not to be demeaning. So for example, I am feeling very low at this time, but I'm at work and I can't express what's going on for me. So instead, I'm going to rain check my emotions and my feelings and give it some time when I get home. And what that looks like is setting boundaries for myself. Maybe I put in my phone a reminder, check in with yourself after work, or make sure you check in with a friend so that you remind yourself that this is important for you to revisit. If you're at work and you can't handle it, maybe ask for a break and go for a walk. And these are the best opportunities to regroup, balance, and remember that you can experience anything you want at any given time. It just depends on how you approach it and how you create the space to do so without hurting yourself. I believe healing requires the presence of another loving individual, and that is why therapy is a beautiful opportunity to work on these things. And the last 2 tips I have for you guys before we head off is do not doubt your knowledge, okay? What you're feeling is true. Your intuition will not lie to you. Your intuition is that one that tells you, oh, it may look good, but it doesn't feel good, okay? And so in doing so, listen to that. What is your intuition trying to guide you towards, and what do you need? And I'm almost 100% sure that your intuition only shares things that are here for your well-being and your goodness. And so if it's something harmful, it may not be your intuition, it might be some fear or your mind. And your mind can have the thoughts that are here to help you survive. So if you are feeling as if you aren't at your best, your mind may believe that you need to use substances, or you need to return to a harmful person, or you need to cause yourself harm, when in truth, your soul is telling you that you're okay. You are just okay, and you're going to be okay. And it feels uncomfortable right now, but you can do it because you've done many other things. And last but not least, daily mindfulness. Be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. Not so deep in your mind that you get lost, but mindful to the point where you want to stay present. Not in your past, not in your future, but right here. Because this is the moment where you have the most control to shift genuinely. All right, guys, great chat. If you're not sure where to start, go ahead and schedule a free therapy consultation with me on my website. The link will be in our show notes. And we will work together to discover your strengths and your needs. In the meantime, the self-work can begin now. I have resources available in these show notes as well, and they're also on our website. Stay safe and take care of yourself.